The majestic world of ancient Egypt has intrigued us for centuries. This civilization's legacy, spanning over 3 millennia, is a tapestry woven from countless fascinating facts that surprise, inspire, and enlighten. As we pull back the sands of time, let's uncover 50 lesser-known aspects of ancient Egypt, beginning with pharaohs and royalty. Number 1. Gods and Religion, Part 1. Ancient Egyptians believed in a multitude of gods and goddesses, each with their unique spheres of influence and attributes. There were over 2,000 deities in the Egyptian pantheon, reflecting the Egyptians' desire to explain and control their world. Prominent among them were Ra, the sun god, Isis, the goddess of motherhood and magic, and Osiris, the god of the dead. Each god had a role in maintaining balance, or Ma'at, in the universe, underlining the Egyptians' holistic view of existence. The ancient Egyptians held a deep reverence for animals, which they saw as incarnations or symbols of the gods. This reverence extended to the practice of mummifying animals as offerings to the gods. Millions of mummified animals, including cats, dogs, crocodiles, and birds, have been found in catacombs throughout Egypt. The Apis bull, for instance, was considered a living embodiment of the god Ptah and was venerated during its lifetime. A critical part of ancient Egyptian religion was the Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and instructions to help the deceased navigate the afterlife. These texts, painted onto papyrus scrolls or the walls of tombs, contained detailed descriptions of the underworld and guides on how to overcome its dangers. This book underscores the Egyptians' belief in life after death and their meticulous preparations for it. Temples in ancient Egypt were not just places of worship, but also important centers for communal life, education, and economic activity. Priests and priestesses were influential figures responsible for maintaining the temples, performing religious rites, interpreting dreams, and even providing medical advice. Their central role in ancient Egyptian society reflects the deep integration of religion into daily life. Pharaoh Akhenaten introduced a significant religious reform during his reign, shifting Egypt from its traditional polytheistic religion to monotheistic sun worship centered around Aten, the sun disk. This change, known as the Amarna period, involved significant social and political upheaval, including the establishment of a new capital city, Akhetaten. Although Akhenaten's monotheism was short-lived and Egypt returned to polytheism after his death, this period is seen as a noteworthy deviation from the norm. Number 2. Gods and Religion, Part 2. Hieroglyphs, a system of writing using intricate pictorial symbols, played a significant role in the religious life of ancient Egypt. These symbols were considered sacred, God's words, and were used primarily in religious texts and inscriptions. Priests held the knowledge and authority to interpret these symbols, which further elevated their status. Hieroglyphs served as a medium through which the Egyptians interacted with the divine, manifesting their deeply held belief in the magical power of written words. One of the most powerful beliefs in ancient Egyptian religion was the weighing of the heart ceremony. This ritual, performed after death, involved weighing the deceased's heart against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. This ritual underscored the moral and ethical standards of ancient Egyptian society, illustrating the pervasive influence of the idea of divine justice. Over the centuries, the worship and depiction of Egyptian gods often blended together in a process known as syncretism. For instance, Amun, initially a local god of Thebes, merged with the sun god Ra to become Amun-Ra, a powerful national deity. This fluid and dynamic nature of Egyptian religion reflects the Egyptians' ability to adapt and integrate new ideas, ensuring the resilience and longevity of their belief system. Dreams held a sacred status in ancient Egyptian society and were believed to be messages from the gods. Priests skilled in dream interpretation often held a special place in temples. Dreams could influence major decisions, from personal life choices to matters of state policy, highlighting how the spiritual and practical realms were interwoven in ancient Egyptian society. The cult of Osiris, god of the underworld and the dead, was particularly influential in ancient Egypt. Osiris's mythology involving his death and resurrection symbolized the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Festivals celebrating Osiris, like the Koyak festival, involved elaborate rituals and were eagerly anticipated events. These practices underscore the Egyptians' acceptance of death as a natural part of life and their strong belief in the afterlife. Number 3. Pyramids and Monuments. Part 1. The pyramids, especially the Great Pyramids of Giza, stand as enduring symbols of the engineering prowess of the ancient Egyptians. These monumental structures, often associated with mystery and awe, were not erected by slave labor, as commonly depicted, but rather through the efforts of a highly organized workforce. Archaeological evidence, including workers' graffiti and the discovery of workers' villages, suggests that the construction of pyramids involved thousands of paid laborers and skilled craftsmen. The scale of these projects required sophisticated planning and engineering techniques, showcasing the remarkable ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. The enigmatic Great Sphinx of Giza, with its majestic lion's body and human head, has captivated the imaginations of people for centuries. One notable aspect of the Sphinx is the absence of its nose. Contrary to popular belief, there is no historical evidence to support the notion that Napoleon's troops shot off the Sphinx's nose. Instead, it is widely believed that the nose was deliberately broken off during earlier periods, possibly due to natural erosion or iconoclastic acts. The missing nose of the Sphinx serves as a reminder of how monuments can become subjects of myth and speculation over time. Among the remarkable features of the pyramids are the inscriptions known as the pyramid texts. These ancient religious texts, dating back to the Old Kingdom period, were meticulously engraved on the walls and passages of the pyramids. Primarily consisting of spells, hymns, and prayers, the pyramid texts were intended to guide and protect the pharaoh's soul in the afterlife. These sacred texts, discovered within the pyramid of Pharaoh Unas, reveal the profound spiritual significance associated with the pyramids beyond their awe-inspiring architectural splendor. They provide invaluable insights into the ancient Egyptian beliefs about death, the journey of the soul, and the role of the pharaoh in the divine realm. Among the diverse pyramids in Egypt, the bent pyramid stands out with its distinctive shape and intriguing design. Built during the reign of Pharaoh Sneferu, this pyramid exhibits a peculiar alteration in its angle, resulting in its bent appearance. The initial inclination, steeper at the lower portion, was subsequently modified to a shallower angle towards the top. This architectural experimentation during the pyramid's construction reflects the early stages of pyramid development and the quest for optimal structural stability. The change in angle suggests that the builders encountered engineering challenges and adapted their construction techniques, providing valuable insights into the evolving methods of pyramid design. Recent advancements in scientific techniques have brought about exciting discoveries within the Great Pyramid of Giza. Through the innovative use of muon tomography, a method that detects particles known as muons, researchers have unveiled the existence of previously unknown chambers and voids within the pyramid's complex structure. This groundbreaking research, conducted as part of the Scan Pyramids project, has shed light on the enigmatic interior of the pyramid and sparked new questions about its purpose and construction. The detection of a significant void within the pyramid opens up avenues for further exploration and investigation, highlighting the enduring mysteries that surround these ancient structures. Number 4. Pyramids and Monuments, Part 2. The pyramids of ancient Egypt stand as awe-inspiring structures, not only in their immense size and grandeur, but also in their precise alignment with the cardinal directions. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance, exhibits a remarkable alignment along the north-south and east-west lines. This meticulous orientation indicates the Egyptians' advanced understanding of astronomy and their ability to utilize celestial observations in their architectural endeavors. Scholars speculate that the ancient builders may have used a circumpolar star, such as Thuban or Kochab, as a reference point for their alignment. The pyramid's precise positioning not only showcases the Egyptians' knowledge of celestial movements, but also highlights their perception of these monumental structures as sacred cosmological symbols, serving as a physical connection between the earthly realm and the heavens above. Among the pyramids of Egypt, the Red Pyramid stands as a significant milestone in the evolution of pyramid architecture. Constructed under the reign of Pharaoh Sneferu, it is considered the first successful true pyramid with smooth sides. Its name derives from the reddish hue of the limestone used in its construction. The Red Pyramid represents a culmination of centuries of architectural experimentation and marks a crucial shift from the earlier step-sided pyramids. This transition mirrored the changing beliefs and practices surrounding royal burials and the afterlife. With its smooth sides and geometric precision, the Red Pyramid stands as a testament to the ancient Egyptians' architectural achievements and their unwavering dedication to immortalizing their pharaohs in monumental structures. The enigmatic Sphinx, with its imposing lion's body and human head, has long captured the imaginations of people worldwide. Legends and riddles surround this iconic monument, adding to its mystique. One of the most famous riddles associated with the Sphinx originates from Greek mythology. Which creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 in the evening? The answer to this riddle is man, highlighting the Sphinx's symbolic role as a guardian of life's mysteries and enigmas. The riddle serves as a metaphor for the human life cycle, representing the stages of crawling as an infant, walking upright as an adult, and relying on a cane for support in old age. The Sphinx's timeless gaze and the riddles associated with it continue to evoke a sense of wonder and intrigue, encapsulating the enduring allure of this remarkable monument. Obelisks, towering stone monuments that grace the Egyptian landscape, played a prominent role in ancient Egyptian architecture. These impressive structures, carved from a single piece of stone, often adorned the entrances of temples. Obelisks symbolized the sun god Ra, representing his radiant rays reaching down to earth. The pointed tops of obelisks, known as pyramidions, were typically covered in gold or electrum, a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver, allowing them to catch and reflect the sun's first light. The obelisks served as physical embodiments of the divine power and the solar deity, evoking a sense of awe and veneration. Their towering presence and shimmering golden caps emphasized the connection between architecture, monument building, and the religious symbolism inherent in ancient Egyptian culture. Scattered across the Egyptian landscape, unfinished monuments provide valuable insights into the construction techniques and craftsmanship of the ancient builders. One remarkable example is the unfinished obelisk located in Aswan. This massive obelisk, intended to be the largest ever erected, was abandoned during its construction due to a significant crack that appeared in the granite. Number 5. Daily Life and Society, Part 1. Ancient Egyptian society was characterized by a complex social hierarchy that governed the roles and statuses of its inhabitants. At the pinnacle of this hierarchy stood the pharaoh, the divine ruler and the embodiment of supreme authority. Below the pharaoh were the nobles, who held significant positions in the government and were often granted large estates and privileges. The priesthood played a crucial role in religious affairs and enjoyed considerable influence and wealth. The military and scribes occupied esteemed positions, with the former responsible for protecting Egypt's borders and the latter involved in administrative tasks and record-keeping. Merchants engaged in trade and commerce, while farmers formed the backbone of the economy, toiling the fertile lands along the Nile. Despite the rigid structure of the social hierarchy, there were opportunities for individuals to rise in status through personal achievements, particularly in professions such as the military or bureaucracy. This level of social mobility reflects a degree of meritocracy within the overarching social structure of ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptian women held a relatively high status compared to their counterparts in many other ancient societies. Women had legal rights, could own property, engage in business transactions, and initiate divorce. They could even ascend to the throne as pharaohs in certain circumstances, such as when a male heir was absent or deemed unfit to rule. This elevated position of women in ancient Egypt can be attributed to the society's unique cultural practices and beliefs. The ancient Egyptians acknowledged the importance of women in both the domestic and public spheres, recognizing their contributions to the family, economy, and even religious rituals. While patriarchy still existed, the rights and freedoms granted to women in ancient Egypt were notable for their time. In ancient Egypt, beer and bread were dietary staples that sustained the population from pharaohs to laborers. Beer was a ubiquitous beverage consumed by both adults and children. It was not only a source of hydration but also served as a form of payment for laborers, including those working on monumental construction projects like the pyramids. The brewing process involved the fermentation of barley, which was widely cultivated in Egypt. Bread, often made from emmer wheat or barley, was a dietary staple that provided essential nutrients and sustenance. The significance of beer and bread in ancient Egyptian culture goes beyond their nutritional value. They symbolize the reliance on agriculture and the importance of barley cultivation in Egypt's predominantly agrarian economy. The cultivation of barley and the production of beer and bread were integral to the sustenance and economic stability of the society. The ancient Egyptians placed great emphasis on personal hygiene and physical appearance. Bathing was an integral part of their daily routine, and they utilized various substances, such as natron and aromatic oils, for cleansing and fragrance. Shaving was a common practice, not only for cosmetic reasons, but also to prevent infestations of lice and other parasites. The Egyptians were skilled in the art of cosmetics and used a wide range of substances to enhance their appearance. They applied green malachite as eye makeup, providing a distinctive look that also had practical purposes, as it helped protect the eyes from the harsh sunlight. Red ochre was used as lip and cheek color, adding a touch of vibrancy to their facial features. The ancient Egyptians believed that maintaining physical cleanliness and an aesthetically pleasing appearance was directly linked to spiritual well-being. It reflected their unique aesthetic sensibilities and the importance they placed on both inner and outer beauty. The ancient Egyptians possessed a surprising level of medical knowledge and expertise. Their understanding of medicine and anatomy was advanced for their time, partly due to the practices surrounding mummification. The process of embalming and preserving bodies allowed the Egyptians to gain intricate knowledge of the human anatomy. They observed and documented various diseases, injuries, and treatments in medical texts, such as the Ebers Papyrus and the Edwin Smith Papyrus. The Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical texts in existence, contains a wealth of information on a wide range of medical conditions and treatments. It covers topics such as surgery, pharmacology, gynecology, and dentistry. The papyrus includes remedies and prescriptions for ailments, describing the use of natural substances such as herbs, animal parts, and minerals in treatments. These texts reveal the Egyptians' sophisticated understanding of the medicinal properties of plants and the application of different treatments. Number 6. Daily Life and Society. Part 2. The Nile River, flowing through the heart of Egypt, played a vital role in shaping the daily lives and civilization of the ancient Egyptians. With its annual flooding, the Nile brought rich deposits of fertile silt onto the surrounding lands, creating a highly productive agricultural environment. The abundance of agricultural resources supported the population, ensuring a stable food supply and allowing the development of a complex society. The Nile's waters also served as a crucial transportation route, facilitating trade and communication between different regions of Egypt. It enabled the movement of goods, people, and ideas, contributing to the cultural and economic interconnectedness of the civilization. The Nile's influence on agriculture, trade, and communication highlights the profound impact that the physical environment can have on the development and sustainability of a civilization. Education in ancient Egypt was primarily focused on vocational training, preparing individuals for specific professions. However, for those destined to become scribes, a higher level of education was provided. Scribes were responsible for record-keeping, administration, and maintaining written records of the society. They were trained in reading and writing hieroglyphs, the intricate system of pictorial script used in ancient Egypt. Alongside hieroglyphs, scribes also learned hieratic, a simplified cursive script, and later demotic script. Literacy, however, was limited to the scribes and the educated elite, granting them considerable power and influence within society. The ability to read and write bestowed prestige and provided access to knowledge and opportunities. The hot and arid climate of Egypt greatly influenced the clothing and fashion choices of its ancient inhabitants. The prevalent material used for clothing was linen, a lightweight fabric well suited to the warm climate. Men typically wore short kilts made of linen, while women donned straight, ankle-length dresses. The garments were often pleated, emphasizing the flowing nature of the fabric. Egyptians were known for their love of personal adornment, and both men and women adorned themselves with jewelry such as bracelets, necklaces, and rings. The use of jewelry was not only for aesthetic purposes, but also served as a symbol of wealth, social status, and personal identity. The choice of clothing and jewelry demonstrated the Egyptians' appreciation for aesthetics and their desire to present themselves in a visually appealing manner. Ancient Egyptians valued physical fitness and engaged in a variety of sports and recreational activities. Wrestling, boxing, archery, and chariot racing were popular competitive sports that showcased strength, agility, and skill. These activities served not only as entertainment but also as a means to maintain physical fitness and prepare individuals for military training. Board games were also widely enjoyed, providing a leisurely pastime for both children and adults. Games such as Senet, played on a rectangular board with pieces and dice, were not only recreational but also held symbolic and religious significance, representing the journey of the soul in the afterlife. Sports and recreational activities were an integral part of daily life, promoting physical well-being, social interaction, and the development of strategic thinking and coordination. The ancient Egyptians had a profound connection with the animal kingdom and held a special affection for pets. Cats, in particular, were highly revered and enjoyed a privileged status. They were associated with the goddess Bastet, who was often depicted with the head of a lioness or domestic cat. Cats were regarded as protectors and were kept as companions to ward off evil spirits and vermin. Killing a cat, even accidentally, was considered a grave offense and could result in severe punishment. Number 7. Art, Literature, and Culture. Part 1. Ancient Egyptian art was renowned for its rich symbolism and unique stylistic conventions. One of the notable features of Egyptian art was the use of size to denote importance and hierarchy. Pharaohs and gods were often depicted on a larger scale compared to other figures, emphasizing their elevated status. Additionally, the technique of composite view was commonly employed, wherein human figures were depicted with heads in profile but bodies facing forward. This artistic convention allowed for the simultaneous representation of the most recognizable features of the body. The highly stylized and codified nature of Egyptian art served a purpose beyond aesthetic appeal. It aimed to effectively convey information and communicate complex concepts to the viewer. Through their symbolic art, the ancient Egyptians expressed their religious beliefs, social hierarchies, and cultural values, leaving behind a visual legacy that continues to captivate and intrigue. The Book of the Dead, a collection of funerary texts, spells, and prayers, played a crucial role in the afterlife journey of the deceased in ancient Egypt. Each book was individually crafted, tailored to the specific needs and preferences of the deceased. The texts within the Book of the Dead provided guidance and protection against the challenges and dangers the soul would encounter in the afterlife. Beautifully illustrated on papyrus scrolls, these texts provide valuable insights into ancient Egyptian religious beliefs, burial practices, and societal values. They reflect the Egyptians' profound understanding of the journey of the soul beyond death, and their commitment to ensuring a successful transition to the afterlife. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799 proved to be a pivotal moment in deciphering the hieroglyphic script of ancient Egypt. This ancient artifact, inscribed with a decree in 3 different scripts, hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Greek, provided a crucial key for understanding the once undecipherable hieroglyphs. The decipherment of the Rosetta Stone by Jean-François Champollion in 1822 opened the doors to a wealth of knowledge about the language, history, and culture of ancient Egypt. It allowed scholars to unlock the mysteries of hieroglyphs and gain deeper insights into the religious beliefs, administrative records, and literary works of this ancient civilization. The Rosetta Stone stands as a testament to the importance of language in accessing and interpreting the historical cultures that shaped our world. Temples held immense significance in ancient Egyptian society, serving not only as religious centers, but also as social and cultural hubs. They were often the wealthiest and most powerful institutions, controlling vast landholdings and commanding a large workforce. Temples played a multifaceted role in the community, serving as administrative centers, educational institutions, and even workshops for artisans and craftsmen. They stored and distributed the community's wealth and resources, ensuring the smooth functioning of the economy. Temples were also gathering places for festivals, religious ceremonies, and communal events, fostering social cohesion and providing opportunities for artistic expression and cultural exchange. The intricate connection between religion, economy, and power is vividly exemplified through the pivotal role that temples played in ancient Egyptian society. Music held a significant place in the lives of the ancient Egyptians and permeated various aspects of their culture. It was not only associated with entertainment and leisure, but also played a vital role in religious ceremonies, banquets, and even work settings. Music was believed to have a profound impact on the spiritual and emotional well-being of individuals and the community as a whole. Number 8. Art, Literature, and Culture, Part 2. Ancient Egyptians were renowned for their monumental sculptures, from the Sphinx and the Colossi of Memnon to countless statues of pharaohs, gods, and elite individuals. These colossal statues were not mere displays of artistic skill or royal power. They also served religious and commemorative functions. Often placed at temple entrances or in public spaces, they were designed to inspire awe and reinforce the divine authority of the pharaoh. Papyrus, derived from the plant of the same name, was used extensively for writing in ancient Egypt. The invention of papyrus, one of the earliest forms of paper, revolutionized record-keeping, administration, and literature. It demonstrates the innovative capabilities of the Egyptians and underscores the critical role of writing materials in the development of complex societies. Funerary art was a significant part of ancient Egyptian culture, reflecting their beliefs in life after death. This included intricately decorated coffins, wall paintings in tombs, funerary masks, and grave goods to accompany the deceased in the afterlife. These objects were not just artistic expressions. They served practical and magical purposes, intended to protect and sustain the dead in their journey to the afterlife. Ancient Egyptian literature included a genre known as wisdom literature, texts providing advice on proper behavior, moral conduct, and strategies for success. The instruction of Ptahhotep is a famous example, containing advice from a vizier to his son. Such texts give us insights into the societal norms and values of the period, reflecting a culture that prized wisdom, balance, and moral integrity. Ancient Egyptians created a rich corpus of love poetry. These songs, found on papyrus and fragments of pottery, describe the joys and sorrows of love, often using vivid and elaborate metaphors. This lesser-known aspect of Egyptian literature reveals a deeply human side of this ancient civilization and attests to the universal human experience of love and longing. Number 9. Warfare and Diplomacy, Part 1. The ancient Egyptian army was a formidable force and a crucial instrument in establishing and maintaining Egypt's empire. The army was composed of infantry, charioteers, and archers, supplemented by foreign auxiliaries and mercenaries. Notably, military service offered a route for social mobility, with successful soldiers rewarded with land grants, loot, and prestigious titles. Chariots were a major component of the Egyptian military. Introduced during the Second Intermediate Period, they were crucial in the conquests of the New Kingdom. Chariots served as mobile platforms for archers, combining speed, maneuverability, and firepower. The Battle of Kadesh, one of the earliest battles recorded in detail, highlights the importance of chariots in Egyptian warfare strategy. Egypt often secured diplomatic alliances through royal marriages. Egyptian princesses were rarely given to foreign kings, but foreign princesses were welcomed into the pharaoh's harem. One of the famous examples is the marriage of Pharaoh Amenhotep III to the Mitannian princess Tadukapa. Such unions underpin the diplomatic strategies employed to maintain balance and influence in the region. Originally a term for a nomadic tribe from Nubia, Medjay eventually referred to an elite paramilitary police force in ancient Egypt. Employed as desert scouts and protectors of areas of pharaonic interest, they played a significant role in maintaining law and order. The Medjay symbolizes the incorporation and utilization of foreign groups within Egyptian society, underlining a level of cultural flexibility. The enigmatic sea peoples were purported invaders from the northern Mediterranean, who repeatedly clashed with the Egyptians during the Late Bronze Age. Their attacks contributed to the collapse of several eastern Mediterranean civilizations. The exact identity of the sea peoples remains a mystery, but their conflicts with Egypt underscore the geopolitical complexities and interregional connections of the time. Number 10. Warfare and Diplomacy, Part 2. Ancient Egypt constructed an elaborate network of fortresses and military outposts, particularly in its frontier regions like Nubia. These fortresses, such as the Buhin fortress with its massive walls and defensive moats, served as administrative centers, trading posts, and deterrents against potential invaders. This strategic infrastructure underscores the defensive and administrative measures taken by Egypt to control its territories. The Battle of Megiddo, fought between Pharaoh Thutmose III and a coalition of Canaanite vassal states, is one of the earliest battles recorded in detail. Thutmose's victory solidified his control over Canaan and Syria, expanding Egypt's empire and wealth significantly. This battle illustrates the military prowess of the New Kingdom pharaohs and their aggressive imperial policy. The Amarna letters, a cache of diplomatic correspondence found in Egypt, provides an invaluable glimpse into the world of international relations in the 14th century BCE. They document extensive diplomatic contacts between Egypt and other major powers of the time, such as Babylon, Mitanni, Hatti, and Al-Ashiyah, Cyprus. These letters evidence the intricacies of diplomacy, tribute, and marriage alliances that underpin the balance of power during this period. Egypt's relationship with Nubia, modern Sudan, was complex and multifaceted, characterized by periods of trade, conflict, and domination. Nubia was a crucial source of gold, ebony, ivory, and manpower for Egypt. At times, Egypt exerted direct control over parts of Nubia, but Nubia also maintained periods of independence and even conquered Egypt during the 25th dynasty. This illustrates the dynamic interplay of power and influence in the region. Ancient Egypt was not just a land-based power, but also had a significant naval presence. This is evident from the famous naval battle against the Sea Peoples during the reign of Ramesses III, depicted in his mortuary temple. Egyptian ships engaged in trade, exploration, and military expeditions, highlighting the importance of naval power in Egypt's military and economic strategies.